Hello and welcome to One More Podcast, your video game podcast from One More Go Gaming. This is Jack Netley Thompson. I am Kristian Lasham. How are you today, Jack?
I'm not too bad. Not too bad. How are you?
I'm very comfortable.
I'm good.
It's nice and chill and not too hot and not horrible and muggy in here.
No, that's true.
It's not cold.
That's true.
In a nice...
Well, outside it's very muggy and horrible. I don't like it.
Somehow in this room...
It's all right. For now.
For now, there's still like 3 hours ahead of...
Probably. Talking about nonsense.
Fun and games. This is One More Podcast. You can join the conversation on Discord at One More Go Gaming, on Twitter at One More Go Gaming, on Instagram at One More Go Gaming, or right here on YouTube where you can hit that subscribe button and see us anytime that you wish.
Indeed.
He's learning. All the links will be in the description. There is a lot to talk about today, I think. You don't think so? I think there's a lot to talk about today.
There's a lot that can be discussed. I don't think there's a lot of any
significance or worth. Okay. Yeah, well, there's a lot I want to talk about.
Yes.
First thing I want to talk about before I get into news, because we've discussed a little bit anyway, and it won't be today's show topic, but I want to talk about Detroit Become Human.
Yes.
Now, the reason I want to talk about Detroit Become Human is because episode 1, I believe, was about Sony's first party success.
Yes.
And one of the things we spoke about was Detroit and could it be as good? And
put that on silent preemptively.
It didn't ding.
No, I know, it was yours, but
yeah, mine made an unprofessional sound.
I was just saying preemptively. Oh.
That's fair enough. It will ding.
Yes, almost definitely.
So we discussed, could Detroit be as, or a similar level as some of the other bigger Sony games?
Just went off.
I thought you were like sort of doing this weird agreement. Like,
no, it literally just went off.
Okay. So what do you think?
I haven't played enough of it to say yes or no. The opening hours are fine.
Yeah, opening hours are fine, definitely. I can't argue with that at all. Yeah, I'd agree 100%.
Don't have any issues story-wise. I'm quite enjoying the story and what have you so far. There are definitely, because there's 3 playable characters, there's 3 leads throughout this game. There is definitely one that shines above the other 2 quite significantly, in my opinion.
I agree. I would say that the other 2 characters do get a bit more interesting as the plot develops, but
yeah,
again, that could be, I don't know, it's hard to tell how much is actually decided by my previous actions. So
yeah, no, and what was I saying? Yeah, there's definitely a certain character that I find more interesting than the other 2. One of them, Kara.
That was a dog.
I understand. It just sounded really close, like right outside the door.
I imagine it is.
You just took her in.
I can hear a lot of banging. I feel like some family have returned.
Yeah. Kara, I think, is pretty boring so far from what I've played.
How much have you done with Kara without spoiling too much? Not that we can re-spoil much anyway. I've not played enough of the game myself to re-spoil anything, but... And it's all decision-based.
The main part I've done was actually one of the E3 PSX demos, the bit in the house where you have to choose with the father
there's not really much that goes
daughter.
on with her character at that point, really. That character develops a lot from that point going forward.
Yeah, she's definitely got... I did that, and then I've done her mission after that as well. So she definitely, like...
I definitely care about her the less of the 3, I think.
Well, I can see that. But I also find Connor quite annoying.
Yeah, again, I don't think you've done enough yet.
Yeah, no, it's... Obviously, this is really early hours, really early doors, but, like, it's just the way he speaks.
Oh, he's a robot.
Yeah, no, but the other 2, especially Marcus...
have
so much personality behind their voice.
I can't remember how much you get told and when, because there's a lot of stuff that comes out about the characters and the different Android models and stuff, but I can't remember I don't know how
stuff about Connor that I won't say, but I've learnt stuff about Connor. But yeah, at the moment he's just kind of typical Android in movie.
In terms of, game quality though, which really is the big thing here, because even when we discussed a few weeks ago, a lot of the bigger first party. This is the other thing. Detroit isn't technically first party, I believe.
Quantic Dream, I'm pretty sure, is owned by Sony.
Interesting. Let's have a find out, because someone mentioned it might not be, and technically it's a third party exclusive.
Second party, that would be.
Second party, yes, would be the terminology.
It's either a first party or a second party studio. Like, they are contracted to do Sony work.
They are contracted to do Sony work,
but not necessarily owned by them. But I always thought they were first party, but that could be wrong.
I mean, they're French, I know that much.
They could turn away. Quantic Dream.
Trying to see if I can find who the parent company are of Quantic Dream.
Did they make... Oh no, I'm thinking of Quantum Break. That's why Quantic Dream and Quantum Break. Yeah. I was like, did Quantic Dream make Quantum Break? No, they didn't. I don't think they did. That was Remedy, wasn't it? The Alan Wake guys.
I have no idea.
Pretty sure it was the Alan Wake guys. But anyway, that's sidetracking.
Yeah, no, they're second party. They're not owned by Sony, but Sony are. Yeah, they contract all the games out. So
so it's still exclusives. Like the contract. It's Insomniac. Spider-Man is not a first party game.
No.
But it's still got to be one of their tentpole exclusives. It doesn't make a difference.
And better than anything Xbox has to offer. But that's not the point here. Now, from what I've played Detroit so far, I've not finished it, and I don't normally like those kind of quick time event, kind of really narrative based game. Well, not much narrative. It's for me, they have to be really good to grab me.
You prefer playing, actually playing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do. I don't really like the middle ground. I think the most fun I've had playing the game is the opening mission, the E3 demo, the corner
that was
on
awesome.
the roof. That was the best mission I've done so far.
I do have one problem with that mission. Was the day Detroit came out and I picked it up, I'd been at a friend's house that evening. I hadn't played it myself. I'd played the demo once. Once, but I played it through twice, but I played it in one sitting.
Yeah.
My friend who I was at had not played it at all, but was somewhat interested. So we downloaded the demo at his, and we played it every which way that evening. And it was quite cool to see how differently it can, and it can play out quite differently. The very first mission of the game is that level. So I literally finished playing that at his 7 times.
Went home,
loaded up to the first damn mission. I was like, but I knew how to then get the ending I wanted, so I was able to power through that.
Yeah, it only took me like 2 minutes. I was very bold on my playthrough because I had done the demo.
Okay.
So I was very bold. I put the fish in the fish tank because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, you can't leave a fish knocking around.
So I would... Kind of spoilers, but it's the E3 demo.
Yeah,
so,
I think we can spoil this level. It's the E3 demo.
Sue me.
Yeah.
Don't sue me.
It's out there if you do go and watch it. Watch it.
Well, yeah, so it's the entire game now.
Well, okay, good point. But still, like...
It's been there for over a year.
Yeah, like...
And then I literally walked in, examined the officer's body, picked up the gun, went out, shot him in the face. So literally what I did.
Okay.
It took me about 2 minutes.
So I didn't play it that way. I feel like I played it through as the ending they want you to get. I don't know if they want you to get the ending, but the girl was saved. Connor did everything right, essentially, and then the snipers shoot Daniel at the end. I deliberately played for that ending.
That's the ending I got in the demo.
That was not the ending when I first played the demo. When I first played the demo, both Daniel and Connor died. And now knowing that that's the first mission, if that had happened to me in my actual playthrough, my God, that would have been... I feel like that would have been worked around.
One of the trophies, I don't think he...
Yeah, I feel like it'd be worked around in one way or another.
Yeah, I won't say what it is because it will...
No.
It will probably even kind of spoils it.
So far, I have to say the story has grabbed me, and I'm interested, and I'm enjoying playing, and I intend to keep playing and finish.
Yes, I will be finishing this game.
It's definitely for me another really solid hitter from Sony. For me, there's definitely things about it which are
weird.
Odd. There are definitely things about it which, to most people, they're not going to enjoy if you don't like a game where it is about the story. It's all about the story and the narrative.
Yeah, but I kind of feel that if you buy this game and that's what you don't like about it, that is entirely your own fault.
Your fault, exactly.
This studio are famous for Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, games that are genrely and stylistically and what have you exactly the same.
Yes, and so is this one in so many ways.
It's exactly the same. So... like premise-wise, but no, I'm enjoying the story. I do kind of wish, so far, that it was just Marcus. It was a game about Marcus.
Oh, okay. I don't feel that way myself. But
the other levels I'm kind of just doing. So far, obviously, I'm maybe 3 hours in, maybe 4. So I'm very early days. But, yeah, so far I'm kind of like, I like him. Everyone else is fine.
He's a good character. He's easily my favourite character, and he really progresses. See, the way his character goes. It's very interesting, but I think it goes without saying that those character stories start to intertwine. I feel like that much is obvious anyway, and as that starts to happen, for me, I'm looking forward to going home and playing more later.
I'll be playing something this evening, and
it's not 10 out of 10 God of War, definitely not.
No,
but it's up there.
I would definitely say, and judging from reviews, and I think the general world agrees, it's their weakest exclusive in a while.
In a while, perhaps, but...
Oh, no, maybe not that long, actually, because NAC 2 was a thing.
Good point. NAC 2 was a thing.
So it's not their weakest.
I don't know if it is really that weak, though, and I think a lot of people...
No, but we're talking comparatively to games like God of War and Bloodborne and...
Yeah, I just don't know if you can judge it in the same way you do judge some of those, because you judge the gameplay in a different way on those, and a big part of what makes a God of War work so well... Yeah, the narrative's stunning. Yeah, the visuals are stunning. Yeah, the dialogue is stunning. But the gameplay is super, super immersive and fun. Yeah. This is a very different type of gameplay, and it's not about the gameplay. So I think it's hard to judge it in that sense.
It is apples and oranges, but oranges. But I just mean if you had to say,
do you like that famous Ubisoft game, Assassin's Creed Oranges?
Assassin's Creed Oranges, yeah, exactly. But I mean, this is the internet. They compare everything to everything just because it has one connecting feature, and these connecting features being that they are Sony's exclusives. So it's obviously not as good as those, but they are completely different. Yeah. You're going to have a completely different experience. For me, so far, it seems to be I'm going to go in, have my version of the story, done.
Yeah, I'm a long way in and I'm invested, and I still think that's going to be my experience. I don't know if I will do it again. I
won't say anything specific, but from discussions we've had, at least early game, it kind of seems like your decisions change. Minute details of how you get to the big plot points, but the big plot points are still the same.
But the only thing that's sort of pulling me back to go, I might end up playing it a second time is, again, I don't think you're far enough to have any of these yet, but there are a couple of missions on the mission, like the story flow chart at the end. There is a whole mess of stuff that I hadn't seen that's still red, which kind of has made me go, what was that? How did I miss all of that? Because I didn't even notice I could have had all these other things. So maybe I might probably just do it on chapter select. Don't know if I'll do a whole campaign again, though. I don't know. I think at the moment it's hard for me to tell until I finished it. The kind of game it is as well, it's obvious that elements of the story can change, but it is only going to be elements. But I've tried to play it in a certain way, almost. I've been kind of aiming towards certain outcomes.
Yeah.
And I think playing it a second time, I'd have to really consciously think about
not doing the same thing again.
Yeah, which I think will then break the game for me and what's good about the game. And there's definitely been points where I've felt really tense with some of the decisions I've had to make as well. I thought, I've got to figure this out.
Oh, yeah, there's been points where I've kind of I miss.
There is a bit, actually, you will get at some point, which I'm a little bit annoyed, not annoyed, but disappointed you haven't got there yet, because I really wanted to talk about it. I'll talk about it vaguely, but I did want to have a good conversation about it. It's a mission with Connor, and it's like an action sequence. And I think they nailed it in terms of how they execute that sequence and the decision-making part of it, and that their gameplay, whilst having it an action sequence, was really, really good. And I really felt like really high octane all the way through it. And when it ended, I remember I said the words to myself, "That was fucking awesome." Which, when a game is doing that to you, I think
it's a good sign. Yeah, no, I think that I'm going to start enjoying it more. I'm just kind of in that everything's starting to pick up kind of thing. Like it's a lot of their games do this, because I remember there was like a 5-hour sequence where you brushed your teeth and had breakfast in Heavy Rain.
Yes, there was, yeah.
So,
which I think when I played Heavy Rain, because that's all I remember of playing Heavy Rain, I think I played that and went, why am I doing this?
yeah, the only thing I remember about that game is brushing teeth and Sean. Just going, Sean! Sean! I think it's Sean. And the fact that there was a glitch. I remember there was this absolutely incredible glitch in Heavy Rain where it would occasionally... Like in the occasional playthrough, when it got to that point where you just start shouting Sean, it will shout Sean for the rest of the game.
Excellent.
So just throughout all the other scenes, it's just going Sean in the background. Like,
do you think those sort of strange bits aside, and it is a very different genre game? Do you think that's? I know that being the weakest. People saying
that's comparatively though. That's not saying it's weak.
What you have played so far, do you think Sony have another good exclusive though? Because I personally think so.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I think if these are the sorts of games you enjoy, it's definitely worth picking up.
Yeah.
Even though
definitely.
The way I've spoken about it doesn't sound like it, I do genuinely enjoy it.
There's things in there which are definitely little tiny things. Like there's a few elements which graphically the game's gorgeous.
Yep,
it's really really nice.
100%.
It's not stylized, it's realistic, but executed well.
Very
and
well.
The game runs very well. I haven't had any trippy frame rate issues or anything like that, or weird aliasing issues. It's been looking good all the time.
And I had those in God of War.
Yeah, I had a lot of frame rate issues in God of War, and not enough for me to break the game, but they were there. I haven't had anything of that. But there's a few bits where it's like they've tried to keep. Occasionally, that there's a bit where someone's watching TV, and the thing they're watching on TV was real footage.
Yeah,
hockey game.
There's the hockey game in the house.
And I'm like, what? Then it
Why
looks
is it real?
so out of place. It was real footage and really low res, and they've all got this really futuristic TVs and screens and things. And then watching a really low res, it didn't make any sense to me. I was like, why is that not
very
been
odd?
Because everything else that's been on screens has all been rendered in game clearly. So why has that not been?
No, that's really decisions like that are really bizarre.
And
to me.
there's a couple of photographs which are real pictures,
people,
and then a couple of photographs that aren't. It's like pick your style and stick with it. I don't understand.
Yeah, there's also been a couple weird visual things, like in the background when someone's talking, like someone's walking past, or like maybe even a cat or something walks past, and it looks really weird. I've noticed, and they're just and it's one of those things you can't figure out why it was weird.
Yeah.
It just looked weird.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like they were walking funny, or they were glitched and just sliding across.
Yeah, well, there was a
anything.
scene where there was a car which looked weird as it was driving along, and I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was like, something about that looks odd. It looks like it's levitating along the ground almost, but...
It looks slightly off. But, to be honest, that has happened so few and far between.
Oh, yeah.
And even in my early stages of playing, that's happened so few and far between, and... Even if you're playing it, doesn't. I'm not one of them.
The other thing that I picked out was a lot of repeated models of food. I have seen 3 scenes where they're eating food, and every single one of them is the same low poly texture spaghetti bolognese, and it's like, can you
bring up the spag bowl.
have a different dish?
I was going to bring up the spag bowl.
It's really low poly,
shit.
looks shite, and then it gets used about 3 other times in different scenarios. It's like, why does everyone in 2038 eat spag bowl?
It's a pretty solid meal.
Not that one.
No, that one looks like it's literally you put your fork in and the entire thing comes out. It looks plastic.
Anyway, we have some news to go through as well.
News.
Yeah, not loads of news this week, but
term.
things I want to talk about anyway. Well, I want to talk about the first one. Now, I know exactly what you're going to say. FIFA 18 gets a free World Cup update today. Adds World Cup tournament mode, all of the World Cup teams, stadiums, artwork, squads, etc., as well as Ultimate Team content. It is free.
Who gives a shit?
People who play sports games.
Yeah, I know, but I was saying this earlier when we were talking about E3. Like, I don't see... People who play FIFA are going to play FIFA anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And the people... To be honest, a lot of FIFA players are not the people who keep up with gaming news.
Agreed.
So the fact that they've announced this... I know, obviously, there's exceptions to the rule. There are people... I'm sure there are people that we know that like playing FIFA.
I play a bit of FIFA from time to time. I don't mind playing a bit of FIFA. I used to play it a lot when I was younger, because kids...
Yeah, but you're going to dive into a World Cup?
I'll give it a go at some point. I'm not going to run home and... No, sod Ultimate Team. I'm not going to run home and play it. I think I might... Because I'm going to finish Detroit. What I might do, though, once I finish Detroit, is I might play a small World Cup tournament because I don't mind playing a little bit of FIFA from time to time. I
Yeah,
enjoy a
that's
little bit
fair
of
enough.
FIFA.
So
I hate playing
the fact
online, but that's a different topic.
Yeah, so when I say who gives a shit, I don't mean like as the fact that it exists. For
No, I
FIFA
get
fans, the fact that they are doing an update like this for the World Cup is a good thing.
For me, the big thing here, and the reason I wanted to put it in today's nude, is that it's free.
Yeah, but I kind of feel that if that...
Well, I
kind
remember
of
when-
think EA are scared
Yes, but I
to
remember
ever
when they
charge
would.
anyone for anything ever again.
But I do remember the days not too long ago where they'd release a World Cup game or a Euro game,
As
which
a
was
separate
as
game.
a separate game, full price game that had less than half the content of a normal FIFA. I don't think so.
Yeah, but-
free. Yeah, all
Yeah,
right.
no, it's a big thing. It's the same way, we'll get into it later, stuff about Battlefield.
Yeah.
I was right.
I finished my tea.
I haven't even started mine. Shit, it's going to get cold. You are correct. I did not put anywhere near enough sugar in that.
I did tell you.
Yeah. What was I saying? Free. Yeah, no, it's good. But I think it's free because they're scared.
Oh, 100%.
They are concerned that
Yes.
obviously they're still going to be charging for
And I
Ultimate
think
Team Packs.
more of this is going to become evident in a couple of weeks of
Yes.
how concerned they are.
Oh shit, they better have done it again. I genuinely think they're worried about charging for things. Obviously, they're still going to charge for like the loot boxes in Battlefield 2.
Nope. There are... Oh,
Battlefield.
Battlefront
Front 2.
Star Wars.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. Fucking EA. Sod off.
Come up with some new names, guys.
I know. But they're going to, like, cosmetic stuff and Ultimate Team Packs are obviously still going to charge for that.
Yeah.
And I think they should. It's an optional extra. You don't need to put your money into that. If you're going to complain about how much they are, stop paying for them. You
Yeah,
have
and
the game.
just play the game there.
Yeah.
Nothing in that game you can't get from just playing anyway, so...
Exactly. So, like, that's completely fine. But I think the fact that this update is free, and as you said, like it was the last World Cup, wasn't it? How often is the World
Euros,
Cup?
4 years, and then Euros is every 4 years, well, but like in a
It's in
2-year
the middle,
interval
so
thing.
it's
So
2
yeah,
years in
Euro would have been the
interval.
last
So
one.
was the Euros a separate game? It wouldn't have been
It
2
was,
years ago, would it?
No,
would
it
have
was.
been an
It was a
update.
DLC, but I don't recall it being free. I'm sure you had to pay for it, not for £50, like 15
No, of
quid,
course
but
not,
you
but-
still had to pay money for essentially something you already had. You were paying for stadiums and squad changes, which
Yeah, it's not worth it. But to me, anyway. To
no,
some
I don't
people it
think.
would
I
be.
don't think that's worth it at all. I don't think
To-
that is mad.
I don't play FIFA at all. But the fact that it exists and it is free and they've actually done something, because you'd be excused for kind of just releasing FIFA and then letting it be that.
Yeah.
And Ultimate Team carries the game for the year and does all the time.
It does
so
indeed.
you'd be completely excused for not doing anything. But the fact that they've done it is good for FIFA players. The reason I said who gives a shit is the majority of the people who this is going to be released as news to
Don't give a shit.
don't give a shit.
I know.
Well, yeah,
I know.
There are obviously exceptions to the rule, but it just seems like a weird thing. And most, at least hardcore FIFA players, just because hardcore FIFA players are usually fuck's sake, are usually the general public who only play FIFA. Again, exceptions to the rule, but like, I will one day move my hands without hitting something. But yeah, fuck it, move on.
FIFA's doing a thing. Ted Dabney, co-founder of Atari, has passed away after a short battle with cancer, aged 81. This gentleman launched the first commercially available video game arcade in 1971, along with Nolan Bushnell. The reason I put that in there is because of that man pretty much formed games. So I feel
Yeah.
that just takes a little bit of recognition
Well,
because...
Personally, never heard the name before, but it's news, and anything that involves someone battling with cancer fucking sucks.
Yes, it does.
So-
and, but just who he was, and launching the first commercially available video game, first commercially available video game. Starts to link into how we are all here now. So I know people always say, well, if he didn't do it, someone else would have done. Yeah, but someone
In
else
theory.
didn't. He did. So
And it could have gone a completely different way, because they
Yeah.
would have made a completely different game.
I just feel like that needs a little bit of recognition.
Agreed. Agreed.
Telltale's Wolf Among Us Season 2 has been delayed to 2019, along with like 100 other games. Telltale revealed that despite the delay, it is, quote-unquote, committed to exploring new ways to tell our stories and will use the extra time to, quote-unquote, focus on quality, but also to experiment and iterate in order to craft something truly special. Now, again, I know what you're going to say.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
That's a first, is what I was going to say.
That they're actually...
Focusing on quality.
Yep. And I'm wondering if they... Because there was a restructure at Telltale not so long ago, and a lot of people got laid off. And I'm wondering if they are actually going to go, let's make a game that isn't buggy as all balls. Maybe
get an engine that
is up to date.
Like the one that... I'm pretty sure they used the one that Pong was made on.
Yeah, from the seams of things. I've not played a Telltale game that isn't buggy as all hell.
I haven't played a Telltale game that won't crash halfway through episode 5, and I'll have to do the last hour again, and I'm just like...
So yeah, maybe that is a turn into something new, especially when... I don't really see an excuse for it. When you've got games that I know the pricing is different, but...
When you're this far along...
Yeah, but it's like, again, their gameplay is like Quantic Dream stuff, really, in a way.
Yeah, but very basic.
Very basic. So, if Quantic Dream, and even the chaps who did Until Dawn, who, I can't remember the name of that studio for the life of me. Either way, whoever they are, can put out games that look as good as they do. And Until Dawn wasn't a stunner, but...
Yes, it was. Until Dawn was...
No, like, graphically.
Yeah.
I don't know. Performance was a bit poor. Not, I mean, in comparison to, like, some of the stuff we get now. Like, it's not in any way bad, but I feel like I've seen better.
I would say it's better than a lot of the stuff we get.
No, it's good. I'm not in any way...
No, I know you mean
I
graphically,
wasn't blown away from the visuals. The game was stunning. I loved the game. I thought it was incredible, but...
I thought the graphics of Until Dawn were pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, maybe so much the graphics, but I thought some of the animations was a bit odd and a bit
probably.
tweaky. And,
probably.
I did play it late, though. I played
that might have been on purpose, though. It was meant to be like a very 90s campy...
But the point is, they perform. They actually... Yeah, they perform. Telltale games do not.
No, and they're a lot easier to run as well.
So I do have to question...
Do you know what's really stupid, though? They run fine on a bloody iPad, but not on a PS4.
Mad, isn't it? So maybe that's what they are going to be looking into, and going forward we might see some slightly smoother running.
I hope so.
I would like to see a Season 3 of Batman as well, because I really enjoyed Batman.
I haven't played Season 2 of Batman. It's on my list to do.
I very much enjoyed it. Because I got Season 1 when it was free, and I immediately bought Season 2 after I finished it.
I got Batman before it was free, and then it became free, and I was very annoyed. But I remember one of the monetarily best value things that came on PlayStation Plus was like the Telltale Collection. Had Season 2 of The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Tales from the Borderlands, and Wolf Among Us in it, and that counted as one game, one of the 3 games. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
So I played all of those, other than Walking Dead Season 2, because I didn't have a platinum and I wasn't ready to give them my time.
Maybe a show topic one day is going to be why the fuck don't some games have platinums. I want to get into this at some point, but not today. Far Cry 5's first DLC gets a release date. Hours of Darkness is the first post-launch DLC for Far Cry 5 and is set in Vietnam during Vietnam War. Maybe that's what my prediction for Battlefield 5 was supposed to be. I was supposed to say Far Cry 5. Vietnam. There would also be Vietnam-themed assets which will be available in the Far Cry arcade mode. Now, I've said on here that it gets release date. What I've not done is write the release date down on this news thing. So Google it.
Yeah, I kind of think Far Cry 5 is in a very poor situation.
Yes.
This is from a personal perspective.
Is it that the game's a bit dog?
No, because I liked the game until the actual single player side of the game I enjoyed.
Well, here's my problem with the DLC. All 3 DLCs are not Far Cry 5, as far as I'm concerned. They are like Blood Dragon, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Blood Dragon was awesome. I think it's made by the same people. I just feel like I'm quite like something else like in that Far Cry 5 world, though. Otherwise, is it really a Far Cry 5 DLC, or is it just that a game you wanted to make but you didn't want to put all your money into? It just seems weird to me that...
I think Far Cry is the right franchise to do it with, though.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't really work in Assassin's Creed.
I think it would 100% work in Assassin's Creed.
Anything works in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, exactly. They make it up as they go along.
Yeah, you just pack it all in. It's all part of the animus.
And then... Yeah, no, I think it's cool. I just think the only problem is... It's not a Far Cry specific problem. It's just a gaming problem. People move on.
Yes.
If there is
But that's my point.
gap.
I can't see how this is going to pull people back to Far Cry. I just don't get it. I don't understand what about this.
I
pulls
think
people
season
in.
pass people will jump back in, obviously.
Only because they've already paid for it.
Exactly, but I don't think...
And I think most people bought Season Pass for Far Cry 3. I don't think many people were buying Season Pass for the DLC.
Maybe not, but they've got it.
It
So
is
they may as
there,
well play
yeah.
it.
Season Passes need to burn in the bunker anyway. But
Yes, they do. More on that later.
Blue Hole Games is what they're called. Remember the other
It was
week?
one
we
of
were
the
discussing
options I gave
Blue Hole.
last week.
Also, when I typed this up, my Mac generally wanted to also correct that to butthole. Not even kidding. But Blue Hole Games have
Amazing.
filed a lawsuit against Fortnite developers Epic Games. Blue Hole say they are, quote unquote, concerned the Fortnite may be replacing the experience which PUBG is known, replicating the experience which PUBG is known. So basically,
Certainly replacing.
PUBG Corp have gone, oh, Fortnite's selling pretty well. For free, we need some money. That's the impression I get. I mean, I admit they
Yeah,
sort of
I mean...
copied a format, but
I don't know, I kind of feel at this point, it's like Battlefield, or Call of Duty suing Battlefield.
yeah, just go over yourselves.
It's a genre now.
Yep, yes, it is.
It is a genre now, it is not a unique thing.
No,
Um,
it's not a game mechanic. It was not a game, is it? It's
but
not.
I only say that now
Yeah.
because Fortnite has developed
Yeah,
to the
oh, I
point
agree.
where it's not that similar. It is, the premise is similar, but the modes and the different things you can do in Fortnite, the different styles of weapons and the...
As you say, it's the same
comedic
argument
art
as
style.
Call of Duty and Battlefield. Or
Yeah,
PlayStation
exactly. At this
FIFA
point,
or
Fortnite has developed so
Overwatch
much. Fortnite's the Battle Royale mode is... Well, actually, no, Fortnite, full stop, is still an early access game.
Yep.
Um,
So is PUBG. on
Oh, that
Xbox
defeats
anyway.
my argument, actually. I said
PUBG.
PlayStation don't do early access games that you have to pay for. Fortnite. The Save the World mode.
True.
But anyway. They've developed enough to the point where, yes, it's Call of Duty suing Battlefield. But to be fair to PUBG, they expressed concern just after Fortnite came out, when it was a cartoonish carbon copy.
Mm-hmm.
And they filed the suit in January.
Yes.
My only thing is, Fortnite are just doing better.
Yes.
That's genuinely what I think it comes down to. Fortnite is doing better. Reasons for which, take your pick.
I think there are varied reasons. One of them being that
It's free.
It's more accessible on more consoles and more platforms.
Yeah, it's available in more areas. It's probably more accessible in terms of difficulty.
Yeah, it's far easier.
There's
to play. It's far easier.
There's
to
probably
make
an
sense of.
equally high ceiling, but a much lower ground level.
Mhm.
And the ceiling only comes down to the building,
Mhm.
which I think can be learned.
Yeah, I just think there's more. It feels like Fortnite's a bit more dynamic.
Yeah,
Well,
and also
and slightly different game
Fortnite,
modes
not
and stuff.
Fortnite, sorry, PUBG is broken.
Yes, I mean that's a big part of it. It works. Fortnite runs well.
Yeah.
That's the one thing when I did jump in. I didn't want to play Fortnite. Everyone wanted to play Fortnite. I've not played Fortnite in any extended period of time. But the first takeaway was, oh, this actually looks surprisingly good and plays
And runs.
surprisingly well. And runs.
You don't have any
surprisingly
frame
well.
rate issues.
No, not at all.
Whereas
It's
you can
4K
have
and
a
everything else, so-
£2,000 PC and you will get performance issues on PUBG.
Yep.
Which, as a game, as a concept, I prefer PUBG.
I think I do actually. The idea of that,
On paper.
yeah, the Call of Duty Battle Royale mode has my attention.
Oh yeah,
genuinely,
100%.
so-
I'm actually really excited to see what that is.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what it is. If I'm excited to play it, I'll find out soon enough.
Exactly.
But it has my attention.
Definitely
I'm
has my
interested in
attention,
it.
and because it will run.
Yes.
And it's
Moral of the story: if you want your game to sell, make it fucking work.
yeah, like PUBG is inexcusably bad.
Yes.
It has been out over a year,
And they're selling it. Like Fortnite,
And-
as we said,
and
is
yeah.
free.
and they're charging money for it, and it doesn't seem like the performance is anything they're working on. They just keep releasing maps, and they've done one or two
Yeah,
like
they've done like updates
time
without
limited
actually fixing
mode,
anything.
time limited modes, and I'm just like, stop making more broken maps and fix the game you've got, because no offense to Bluehole, but if one of your customers that buys your game has a £2,000 PC, they should be able to run everything.
Damn right, shit.
$2,000, they should be able to run literally bloody anything. They should be able to control a rocket launch to Mars with that thing, which obviously isn't the case. But
I mean, ironically, they probably can.
I mean, yeah, probably, but they can't have PUBG. Like how it's not even like graphically, it's not even that demanding. It for 2018, to put it politely, it looks like dog shit.
Yes, it does.
And yet it still runs like arse. I know Fortnite would be easier because it's stylized.
Yeah, but
And the maps are slightly smaller.
Textures are clearly higher quality, which is going to.
Yeah, but there's less detail.
There is less detail, but in terms
stylized
of higher res, though, so they're going to be taking up the same kind of memory space. Surely.
Stylized is easier to process because it's just
easier
animated.
to pull off, I guess.
Yeah, it's like you can hide the blemishes.
You can hide the blemishes.
So, for all intents and purposes, Fortnite just looks like it runs better, and it does run better. I'm not trying to take that away at all, but. Yeah, it's inexcusably bad, PUBG.
The final and biggest news, which will take us into our show topic today, Battlefield 5 has an official reveal event in London, showing off all of the details of the game.
Was it in London?
It was in London. I say all of the details of the game. It showed off bugger all of the game. What it did show off, though, that it is a World War II setting. There will be a return of the war stories from Battlefield 1. They showed off some new mechanics, as well as an October 16th release date for...
I thought it was 19th.
19th for Standard, 16th for Deluxe.
Oh, yes, the early access.
Yes.
So I said earlier it was the same day as COD, which is not true. It's the 12th.
4 days difference.
Yeah, 4 days.
The biggest part of it, no premium pass, which you call...
I predicted, yeah.
No loot boxes, no in-game purchases, and no mention of a battle royale.
There's cosmetic purchases, isn't it? Was there not?
Yeah, but it's no. It's not like actual content to make you win. It's just cosmetic stuff. There's nothing in there that's going to be. You can buy a gun, you can buy some armor, you can buy a level up.
Overwatch loot boxes. Like that, so. Exactly what I said.
But even then, they're not doing it as loot boxes. They've said it won't be loot boxes.
No, you can pick and choose.
Yeah,
you actually get to pick and choose.
I want to buy this cosmetic item, and all of that can still be earned in game anyway. The show topic's going to be Battlefield 5 because there was a blowout in the Discord last week, and I would like to clear up the blowout in the Discord because Jack and I had some negative things to say.
I wouldn't even call them negative.
Criticising. We had some criticism.
We had some critical or just concerned thoughts.
Concerned thoughts. And I feel like everyone misunderstood our opinion.
Shut us down.
And it got a bit out of hand. And whose fault that was, I don't think it's worth getting into. But
I don't think it was anyone's fault.
I don't think it was anyone's fault either. But I would like to clear up our opinions on it and point out I am still super hyped for Battlefield.
100%.
Now, for me, the conference, the reveal, was piss poor.
It was
piss poor,
abysmal, inexcusable. Why did it happen?
And that's the nail on the head. Why did it happen? Now, I understand people enjoyed it because they go, oh, new game, I get to see the new game. And I understand why I'd enjoy that part of it.
They didn't get to see the new game.
Exactly, and just from a constructive and kind of like, okay, this little show Jack and I are doing is new, it's young, it's still spawning. We're a very minute dot in the game sphere. I realise that I feel like it's fair to say this is games media, in a way. And as games media and games journalism, the job is to essentially pick holes in things and criticise and
either criticise or overhype. That's what you have to do. There's no this looks good.
And I feel like we need to look at the things that EA chose to do in that conference, which was bad because so many of it was.
I think not necessarily what they said.
No, not what they said.
But
not at all.
They did nothing right.
That's it. So for me, what wound me... I watched it the next day, and I'd already seen some of the stuff going in Discord, and then like on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, with other group chats with my friends, people talking about the game. So I'd seen bits of bobs anyway of some of the announcements. I then watched the stream the next morning, and yeah, I was just bored watching the stream, frankly, and wound up by multiple things. I don't think it was presented very well. I feel like it looked like they treated it less like a press conference and more like a sort of TV panel show, which was only amplified by having Trevor Noah hosting. Yep. Trevor Noah hosting was cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
In the same way that Aisha Tyler is cool
and
good at Ubisoft E3 conferences. But I felt like that format didn't work for what was really supposed to be a professional press reveal.
Yeah.
I just felt a bit odd, especially as they didn't really have much to say about the game. I don't mind the informality that was going on, and the jokes and the banter, and that Trevor Noah was...
I think that's kind of important.
I think that's nice as well. I have no issue with any of that. It was the content and the way they presented that content from the developer's point of view. What broke it for me was they had this nice little panelly chat thing with like the three main devs, questions back and forth, and then every now and then they would cut to the other side of the studio where they'd have another dev who would do then a really scripted professional style presentation to camera, which felt out of place compared to everything else, not telling any more info than what we'd just been told anyway. And every time he was next to a TV screen which only had the Battlefield logo on it, it's like, why aren't you showing me what you're talking about on this screen?
Yeah, that's what I kind of felt like should be happening.
Yeah. Unless it was supposed to be and they cocked something up and like
got who
to
knows,
present, but
if that was the case, I feel they should have apologised and released what they were meant to show by then.
yes,
but
I felt they would have done too.
Yeah, exactly.
Much like when the Uncharted demo cocked up.
Yeah,
at
they
the
just released
conference
it.
and they re-released the actual thing saying, sorry, we've had a technical error, so it's supposed to
Yeah,
be.
so I think what they should have done is if they wanted to keep it exactly the same, they should have just had footage going on behind them or in the background showing what they were talking about.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, literally all we've got is the same technical mumbo jumbo that they have to give every time they release
And
a
the
new
marketing
game.
terms.
All the marketing terms and tools and just everything they want to use, innovation and
experience and immersion.
And
The largest battlefield ever. You've said that every year because it has to be.
Every Battlefield.
I get that you have to say that, but if you're going to do all that,
show what you're talking about.
Show us it.
The fact that there was not 1 second of gameplay at the Battlefield
There
5
was not 1 second
reveal
of gameplay. That clip
was pre-rendered with a HUD put on it. That was not gameplay.
Sorry.
The game won't look anything like that.
No.
We just have these new features that we don't really know what they are, which was kind of the crux of the entire blowout on Discord. People just disagreeing about what those features were. Specifically, fortifications kind of caused a bit of a backlash. So they've said pretty much nothing about what it is.
There is a fortifications mode.
System, and it's class-based. That's pretty much all they've said. And there are... We brought up a concern that we don't think is actually going to happen.
No. No, I don't think they'd have...
but we said that fortification could turn out to be very similar to Fortnite, which would suck.
Yes, it would.
I'm pretty sure I'm correct in saying that neither you or I believe that will be the case at all, because not even EA are that stupid.
I think that the guys behind it are clever enough to realise that would not work.
Yes, and I think what's actually going to happen is what Chris has said, that once there is a destroyed building or a destroyed wall, a certain class with a certain item, or just the class in general, probably support, I'd imagine, can fix the wall up a bit to get a bit of extra cover.
I'm hoping that will sort of happen over a little bit of time as well. Though. That's
it's not
my
instant.
Thing. Yeah, that's my concern. I don't want it to be little wall appear. I don't think it will be just little wall appear, but if they don't think it through, and if there isn't just a little bit of time, maybe some form of resources involved as well, I feel like that kind of breaks the realism aspect that they're trying to do. And I know some people say, well, it's not overly realistic, you can do all these other things. Like
they have come out and tweeted they picked fun over realism, which I liked, because it's a bloody game.
In comparison, in terms of their sort of style, though, Battlefield is more realistic than many other things, and I feel like they even said in this show some other tweaks they had changed to kind of help with the realism. One thing I remember them bringing up was that you could no longer track and mark people. So whereas before you could mark someone and see a little orange icon behind their head and see whether the Jeff they were, so when you were sniping you could shoot them through a wall.
You couldn't shoot through walls though. You've never been able to shoot.
But you could follow them and like see where they went and then see when they're about to pop out. Now it's you have to actually see them. You can't, once you lose them behind cover, you've lost them behind cover. And I think that's fair enough, because what they're saying is in World War II
so you can't spot them at all, or if you spot them and they go behind a wall, you lose the spot?
the tag.
Okay, that's fine. I was going to say, if you remove spotting completely, That's stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fine. That makes sense.
And makes sense, especially in World War II tech. There is no way.
I like that because it's really annoying when you get a sniper just tracking you.
Exactly, and they're saying they're fixing that to fix the realism part of it because you wouldn't be able to do that. But then in the same breath, there's a building mechanic. So if they don't nail that building mechanic whilst keeping it vaguely realistic, that'll be where it breaks it to me, and it feels.
Yeah, I think it will be very simple. Like,
it just seems like if they're going to go for the effort of changing the way you detract stuff so that snipers can't take you out as easily and can't trace you through things, why then put in a system that means you could very quickly defend yourself from a sniper as well? Like that's so. I don't think they will do that, but as you say, we haven't actually seen it. So
I just think it'll be kind of similar to like the repair tool for tanks and stuff.
Which should be a sensible way of doing it.
You just instead of repairing
a
tank, you repair a wall.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Or I would say like a sniper can make a little foxhole, or what else? What else could there be? Oh, nothing really, but like those sorts of things. And I think that's what it will be, and I think that works with Battlefield. I think that does completely work. It's just like it's just the same with everything with this conference, because not even conference, this reveal event, because they just said stuff.
They just said stuff.
I can say stuff.
And what they did at the end was they went, if you want to see the gameplay, come to EA Play at E3. And then that made me go, why did I just sit here and watch this?
Yeah, why didn't you just go to E3? Like, if you didn't have this, I guarantee you they decided on this. Who announced their event first? Call of Duty or Battlefield? Because
no idea.
I can't remember who announced it first, but my theory
Call of Duty.
My theory would be they went, shit, we need an event that had nothing.
I don't remember them doing an event for Battlefield 1.
Nope.
World War 2 had an event. Had a reveal event before E3.
Yeah, they did. I remember they all sat on their sofas on the stage.
PlayStation Access hosted it.
Yes.
Which is a good shout.
And that was a good event as well.
It was. Yeah, I do feel like just jumping ship. Well, not jumping ship, but jumping on the bandwagon and being like...
We need an event.
Whereas just then... nothing that was in that conference couldn't have been put in just a press release. Either, that's the other thing. Not that they should have done.
No,
but that's
no,
basically
but
it was almost like it was a scripted press release.
And they just read it out loud.
Yeah,
they just read it out loud, which is just... That's for people at IGN to do.
Yeah.
That's like, if you're going to go to IGN or to us or to whoever...
Battlefield, come to us next... yeah, come to us next year for Battlefield 6.
No, I don't mean EA come to us. I mean people...
I do. EA, come to us. Give us your money. We'll fucking do it for you.
I don't mean like that. I just mean like people wanting to find out the information. They go to places like IGN. They don't want to... If they want to watch a Battlefield Live event, they want to see Battlefield. They don't want a press release. Or why they didn't just... even if they didn't have time to go into that much detail, like about words, just let people see it and figure it out for themselves. I think speculation is better when they've seen something but haven't been told what it is than if they just get told what it is and they haven't seen it, because it's just been all misconstrued between loads of different people. There are different theories about what this, mainly the fortification system, actually is. What else is there? Oh, there's also speculation, which I think everyone is wrong, as I was saying earlier about this Last Stand mode.
Oh, yes.
People calling it a Battle Royale mode. It's like, no, it's closer to Search and Destroy, I'd say, than Battle Royale, because it's not jumping in a map with 100 people.
But again, they haven't actually explained it. So
no, they haven't explained anything, so the speculation is completely fair game.
Yeah.
But they...
Could be anything. From what I've taken away and from what I've read, it sounds like it's at the end
Ground operations, you get through the entire thing, which is like 3 to 4 maps, so that's an hour of your life easily.
There's a stalemate.
It ends in a stalemate, so very specific parameters. And then you get this last man standing kind of, like, one life. Take out the other team, you win.
One life, limited ammo is from what I've read.
Yeah.
And then it's, you take out the other team, your team wins.
So,
last man
there are elements of Battle Royale in that, but there are also modes like Search and Destroy and just certain games with deathmatch.
Really, any team deathmatch is a kill limit.
Yeah.
The fact there's infinite lives is not really the point. There's a kill limit, so it's a similar concept.
Yeah, one person could die 75 times in Call of Duty, for example, and that'll be it. And then no one else dies at all. God, could you imagine being that guy?
I think it's my dad.
But then, yeah, so I just... Again, though, like, not faulting anyone for having the theory that it's a Battle Royale mode. For all we know, here I am coming in saying I think they're wrong. But again, I think they are wrong. I don't know.
No one
They
knows.
could turn around and say, oh, at the end of it you do jump out of a plane and you do land with just no guns, you have to find something and then take out the other team. In which case, yeah, it's a lot more similar to Battle Royale and I'll lose my prediction. But I think, and want, because then I win, it to just last man standing.
Yeah.
That's the strong difference. I think Battle Royale, this is a completely different thing entirely. I've kind of moved away from specifically Battlefield now. I think last man standing and Battle Royale have become one term, which isn't correct.
Yeah.
They're different things, but I digress.
The game looks good though, right? It looks like Battlefield.
Dunno.
Battlefield. Well, no, okay. The game sound... No. The
I'm
title
still
sounds
hyped.
interesting.
I'm still hyped for this game. It's
Yeah.
Battlefield. I don't think...
I'm very much
My-
looking forward to actually seeing it in a few weeks.
Yeah, and playing it, and I'm going to get this
Yes.
game. I'm going to put stupid amounts of hours into this game. There is very little they can say that will put me off.
Yeah, I can't, yeah.
Like, this game's going to be awesome. I can't remember the last time there was a bad Battlefield.
Nope.
Other than Battlefield 4 at launch.
Hardline.
I don't think that was bad. I just think it was unnecessary.
By comparison.
By comparison, sure, but it was kind of... It essentially worked exactly the same.
Yeah, the campaign was poor from what I remember.
Campaign wasn't great.
It was a weird
but also,
reveal on Battlefield Hardline.
every
if I
campaign
remember
in
rightly.
Battlefield has been... Oh, that's something I want to talk about. The return of
War stories.
war stories and...
It's not...
Well, the fact that it's World War II.
Yeah.
Well, they fucking lied.
What?
They came out and tweeted that it was in a brand new setting.
Yeah.
Oh, shit!
Now, I
It's
think...
World War II, the most overdone setting that
And
I've
I
ever
think
seen.
what they've meant by it is
It's in a
that
different location.
they're in different areas of what, so it's not exploring Normandy. It's not exploring.
I swear to God, if the opening
Oh,
mission is
Harbour and all
Normandy,
that,
I'm trading the game.
Every World War II game. No, it's not exploring. They're going to new locations we haven't seen explored in World War II. I think that's what they meant.
It was a cop out.
Cop out,
That was
horseshit, marketing terms, and
Yeah.
that's what winds me up about. That's what wound me up about the press release. Was like, if anything, they don't need to do that. They actually don't need to do that. Like, they
Why
do
did
it
they
every
say
year.
anything?
Yeah, I don't understand. People aren't looking at your game because of that. People were buying Battlefield every year because it has solid gameplay, good mechanics, good graphics, and that it works. That's why people buy Battlefield.
Yeah.
You don't have to sell it to them in that markety way. I don't think anyone needs to now. I'm getting so bored of hearing this term. Innovation, experience, immersion.
Yeah.
Just tell me what's in the game. I will decide for myself
If it's
how
immersive or not.
immersive it is, how innovative it is. Just make the damn game. Unless you can actually come out and hands down say you have innovated and made something new, don't use that term. I just
No.
don't think you need to.
It's
anymore.
completely unnecessary, and also...
Maybe 5 years ago, when the new consoles were launching and it was being thrown around a lot, then I'll give you a pass on it. But no, it's not innovative at all, is it?
No.
What have you done that's innovative? Nothing. There is no innovation at all.
No. I think it's...
Look, you've shown us. They could come out at E3 and be like, look at this entire new thing we've made.
Maybe, yeah.
They won't. They would
No.
have done it already.
But third time's the charm.
You never know.
I will... I think that World War II is... Can we leave it alone?
I'm kind of
We
glad
just-
we have gone back to those eras as opposed to the modern futuristic stuff. Like, it's nice to see
I
that in
don't,
the new
because
gen.
there's a bigger variety in things you can do with modern stuff. You can make it up.
Yeah.
World War II, like, you're going to get people just go, oh, this didn't happen.
We're
Like,
already getting that with the fact there's a woman on the front cover.
yeah, I know, but they're fucking idiots.
Yes,
Of
they
course
are.
women fought in
Yes,
World
they
War
did.
II.
British women didn't on the front line, in other damn countries they did. Like,
Yeah, it's like, fuck off.
isn't she wearing a Finnish costume or something?
Yeah,
In the thing?
I don't know.
What
But
are you on
also,
about?
how, like,
And there were female characters in Battlefield 1. No one said dog shit there. No one cared.
because they weren't on the cover.
'Cause they weren't on the cover.
Or they were on
It's-
Revolution. There was a
Yeah.
woman on the Battlefield 1 Revolution edition.
Get over
But,
yourselves. Just
like-
play the damn game.
Yeah, it's a game, who cares? Even if it wasn't factually accurate and somehow not one single woman was involved in World War II.
Then you know that women weren't actually, didn't appear until 1969. That's when the first woman appeared on this earth.
And then, like, even if they didn't, there are female players who like to play as female characters. What's wrong with that? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
But I just think
there are male players who like to play as female characters. There are female players who like to play as male characters. Let people do what they want to do.
Exactly. Like, I just think, like, it's a non-issue that's being brought up. Yeah. But anyway, what I was saying... Like,
sorry.
World War II is just so overdone. It was literally the last Call of Duty.
Yeah, I think that's potentially why they've done it, though, this...
I don't, because the development cycle would have been completely different. World War II...
True.
So the development cycle would have been completely different, and clearly they were already going back away from the modern day stuff with Battlefield 1 long before World War II was in development. So Call of Duty World War II, not the actual war. But it's so overdone and it's so boring. There's only so much you can do.
I do think, though, this is what they're trying to achieve with the new war story zone and the different locations, are not doing what we've seen from the world. I mean, if they had come out and said it's Pearl Harbor and all this stuff again, then
yeah, I know it's different, but it's not necessarily the war specifically that I think is so overdone. It's just the time frame, the aesthetic, the weapons, how many times can the best gun in a game be an MP40?
Yeah.
Like, come on. And it's just, it like gets to me when you're just doing stuff over and over again. I understand it'll be different. Like, it's going to be in different areas, probably a lot more in Britain than we normally get with World War.
Like South Africa.
I imagine one of the war stories is going to be the Blitz, which is very rarely done in games.
I bet it will look gorgeous as well.
Oh yeah, I imagine it will. Like, Battlefield is always stunning. Battlefield 4 still looks pretty
even
top.
Battlefield 3 when it came out, it was like...
Battlefield 1, I absolutely love the game. Incredible game, I think. An absolute masterclass of multiplayer.
Yep.
But I still despise the fact that it's a multiplayer first-person shooter without a single assault rifle.
Oh god, there isn't any, isn't it?
They're all submachine guns, which means if you want fully automatic weapons, you have to be less than a foot away. Otherwise, they do sweet shit. And, like... So, luckily, I fell in love with all the medic guns.
Right, okay.
I love those guns. It's kind of like a cross between sniping, but you can fire it literally as quickly as you can move your finger, really. So I fell in love with Medic. But, like... And then you go back and play Battlefield 4 and you have your assault rifle and it's just so much more fun. But I just think... Obviously that's not the case with World War II. Assault rifles did exist at that point. Ish. But... Yeah, it was still kind of just, I want a different aesthetic, I want modern guns, like in modern day. And the numbered Battlefields have always been modern day. I'm pretty sure. Battlefield 2 wasn't it?
Yep.
And 3 and 4 were.
3 and 4 both were.
And there wasn't specifically a battlefield, was there? It started off with Battlefield 1942, I'm pretty sure. Yep. I could be wrong.
No, I think you're right. I don't think there ever was a specific Battlefield game. Let's have a ganders, but I think you're right.
I think it started with 1942, and then they later released 1943. They even went to the future, which everyone forgets about, 2142.
Yep.
I think.
1942 was the first Battlefield.
Yeah. So there you go. And then Battlefield...
Released in 2002.
So I kind of liked the idea that...
So they went... Battlefield 1942, and then the DLC stuff...
There was quite a few before Battlefield 2,
the Road to Rome, and then all part of 942, Secret Weapon World War 2, and then Battlefield Vietnam, which I didn't know about till last week.
Yep.
Then they went to Battlefield 2, Modern Combat.
There you go.
Then a whole bunch of other stuff here, like, I guess it's DLC. There's Battlefield 2 Special Forces, Battlefield 2 Euroforce, Battlefield 2...
Yeah, it's DLC, I think.
Then Battlefield 2142, Battlefield 2142 Northern Strike, then Bad Company.
Yep.
Which was... first one built in Frostbite. Something called Battlefield Heroes.
Yeah, I'd never heard of that either.
Then Battlefield 1943, which is obviously a sequel to Battlefield 1942.
Yep.
Then Battlefield Bad Company 2. A lot of these games are very close together, by the way. Like, they're in 2010, and the first one was out in 2002, and I've already read like 100 games.
A lot of it's DLC, though.
Yeah, true. Then Battlefield 3.
Yeah, and so we know it from there.
Which really went it.
Full hardline.
I think.
Yeah.
And then again, all the DLC.
It's just been It just seems weird because all the numbered ones so far have
Lots
been
of DLC for Battlefield 4.
Oh yeah, there's shit tons.
Damn.
All the numbered ones so far have been their Modern Combat series.
To be fair though, this is it a numbered one? It's Battlefield V. I know they called it Battlefield 5, but I don't know why they've called it Battlefield V. Like V for victory, maybe. Why don't they just call it 5 like the rest? I don't
Because
understand.
V is the Roman numeral for 5.
But they didn't use Roman numerals in any of the other games.
No, I know, and that's going to be their reason. But I don't know why they just didn't come up with another name.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to go back to modern day, do Battlefield 5.
I don't like it when games sort of change their branding like that as well. Battlefield's branding has changed so much.
Well,
With
it's
game
just
titles and
because
stuff, and it's like, I don't
Battlefield is a big hub, and there are many sub-franchises. So Bad Company is a
well, much
completely
like
different
Black
game.
Ops and Modern Warfare and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, who would have thought that Modern Warfare wouldn't be the most popular Call of Duty franchise one day?
But though the thing is, each of those within their areas stick with the same type of numbering system. So
Yeah.
you've got Black Ops 1, 2, 3, and 4, but they're all done in Roman numerals. Oh no, 4 isn't it? It's just 4 strikes, isn't it?
Yeah, but that is a Roman numeral as well.
Okay.
Romans did use that. They had this whole argument when they announced the game and showed the logo and what have you. People just like, why didn't you just do IV?
But
And then the
Modern
4
Warfare
lines is also...
is all done in proper 1, 2, 3, 4 normal numbers. Well, 1, 2, 3.
It just says one, two,
numerals.
well, just... Yeah, but the weird thing with that
My point is
that's
that,
when
like-
they broke off, because it was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare,
Yes,
and then it was
yeah.
just Call of Duty Modern Warfare
Well, that's
2.
when they again got on top of themselves with
That's when they became popular.
yeah,
Like,
and then they
mad
started having
popular,
different
yeah.
studios working on the games. So, but at least they've stuck to though. That each of those little franchises having that. I just
Because I'm
don't
pretty
like
sure-
that we've gone from. This is a minor argument. This isn't really anything worth mentioning. This is just me being a picky.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I kind of, yeah, so obviously, I still think the game's going to be amazing. I'm
Yes.
still going to play a shit ton of it.
Yes.
I just am bored of World War II, is all. But then again, I was just like, I had a very similar concern about World War One.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I love that game. I think I probably prefer Battlefield 4.
So, what are you looking forward to see from Battlefield at E3?
Gameplay.
They're going to show multiplayer. They've said that.
Yeah.
I do hope they show something to do with the war stories. I want to see if they expand
I personally
on that
didn't like
gameplay
war
time.
stories.
I always like single player content in first person shooters. I like playing through those kind of things.
I like campaigns. Didn't
Yeah,
like war
campaign.
stories.
I would prefer a proper campaign to war stories.
It was kind of only
completely,
because-
but I enjoyed playing through it.
It was only because, obviously, it was kind of loads of different campaigns. I only liked one of them.
Okay, fair enough.
I was only really interested in one of them, which was the plane.
The
guy.
play one was cool.
Yeah, I didn't like playing it, but I liked the story of it. And actually, no, I quite enjoyed the story of the tank one, the first one.
See,
as
now
well.
I didn't enjoy that mission. That wound me up.
No, I hated the gameplay.
I don't like tank missions anyway.
I don't like forced vehicle sections in any
Yeah.
game, and I don't like. And then the reason I didn't really like the rest of them because it was forced stealth in Battlefield, and you're just like,
It's a game that's not built for stealth.
go away.
Yeah.
First-person stealth
Sucks.
rarely works
Yeah,
ever because to play a stealth game you need to be able to see
your
something.
surroundings, yeah.
And it just doesn't. And there was no such thing as a silent gun in a first-person shooter. You can't shoot. Like, come on, that was just poor design. And then, like, I just didn't like the fact that it was just so rushed. All the stories were really
They were
rushed
very
because they
short.
wanted to have the build-up, the middle, like set pieces, and the climax in an hour and a half to 2 hours, and it just felt like so rushed and nothing really made any sense. So I'm kind of like, when they say.
But Battlefield, but
War
the
stories.
multiplayer for Battlefield has got you. Still, you.
Oh, 100%. Like, nothing about Battlefield's one multiplayer has put me off. But the multiplayer still has me. I probably won't even bother with war stories
Yeah,
this
fair
time. But
That's fair enough.
I know a lot of people did like war stories, so it's good that they're continuing that. I know I'm in the minority when I say I didn't like war stories. When the game first came out, I remember a lot of people saying that they preferred it to some of the past, because let's be honest, it's still probably better than any of the Battlefield campaigns, bar Bad Company 2.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the Battlefield campaigns being good, and I remember
Bad Company 2 was great.
4 really. Yes, Bad Company was.
But,
Well, Battlefield 4 I just remember being so short,
and
Um,
shit.
Yeah.
Like, they're just they're nothing to write home about.
Well, we'll see soon enough, I guess.
What's interesting though? I know we've probably mentioned this last week. Or whenever we talked about Call of Duty, but I can't remember. Black Ops has always been Black Ops and Modern Warfare were the ones where the stories were actually really interesting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting that
Modern Warfare
I think we mentioned it last week. It's interesting that they chose Black Ops to be the one to not do the campaign.
I think it is no other reason than they wanted to put the money into Battle Royale.
100%, and I
It's
also
Activision. It's Activision. It's not Treyarch making that decision.
No,
It's Activision.
because I'm pretty sure they developed a story, and they keep coming out with
and they've said there's going to be narratives missions,
narrative stuff.
as
So
part
I
of
think
an
they've just
online
taken that and then
experience
woven it into the thing. But yeah, who knows?
This has been One More Podcast, your video game podcast from One More Go Gaming. You can join the conversation on Discord at One More Go Gaming, on Twitter at One More Go Gaming, and on Instagram at One More Go Gaming, or right here on YouTube, where you can hit that subscribe button and see us anytime that you wish.
Indeed.
Do tell us what you think of Battlefield 5 and the reveal. If you enjoyed it, that's fine. You're allowed to enjoy it. We have no problem with you enjoying it. Jack and I just feel as though some of it could have been better to really get our analog sticks up.
I just want to really drive home how much, like, in case people get angry again, how we don't think that means the game is going to be bad in any way.
I thought the conference was bad.
Yes.
I can't decide on the game yet. I haven't seen it. And when I do, I'll make a decision, and it will probably be, this is cool. Battlefield.
Yeah, exactly. It's Battlefield.
I like it. I am generally intrigued to see what shows at E3 though, and whether that does really get us going. But
I imagine it will. I imagine it'll be a decent chunk, like an entire match probably. Not
I'm
a
pretty sure.
conquest.
I remember very clearly after last year's. Was it last year when that Battlefield 1? Battlefield 1 was last year, wasn't it?
No, 2016.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. But they did after the conference. They did like an elongated stream purely on Battlefield.
Yeah, you could go and watch it. They had like Snoop Dogg, loads of famous people playing the game.
And then, like,
I
loads
imagine they'll do something like that again.
Definitely something like that again.
So yeah, we'll get a good look.
So yeah,
We'll get a good look at the actual game. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, it's just the fact that.
Now I'm having a little look at my calendar. So we have got one more week before E3.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a little while still before we will see the game. We've got potentially one more episode before E3. Okay. And then the week after E3, well, probably E3 week, so the episode after E3 weekend we'll do as a E3 breakdown episode, I feel.
Yep.
And then try and go over results. Our prediction game.
Yeah, have we got anyone to mark it down, or are we just... We're not going to cheat, so are we just going to do it ourselves?
I guess we could do it ourselves. I need to write them down on a bit of paper.
Yeah, me too.
Watch through the episode and
actually pick out what we say, because even I changed from my notes.
And I sort of, because you kind of wing with it as you go.
Yeah.
But, we'll see. We'll see you next time. Thank you again for joining in on our little podcast show. This is One More Podcast from One More Go Gaming. Until next time, we'll see you again.